We've got some last-minute rumors right before the NFL draft commences, and we're going to break it all down on today's Broncos Breakdown. Welcome on in. Matthew Peterson here, talking about a potential trade involving the number 20 pick. Now, before we look at this, make sure you hang out with us for day 1, day 2 of the NFL draft. We'll be going live a few hours before it kicks off. Get free live coverage, pick-by-pick analysis, and we have some giveaways for our great viewers. Now, Dianna Russini from The Athletic put out a very juicy article with everything she's hearing going into the draft, including don't expect the same kind of fireworks from the Broncos 1 year after they took Bo Nix. Sean Payton does fall in love with players, but the sense I get right now is that Denver is comfortable with sticking at pick number 20 and selecting the player they want or trading back. I heard the Broncos love some of the running backs, but not enough to move up. This is exactly what I have been preaching for months on the channel. Don't expect Denver to trade up. Earlier this week, Ian Rappaport said, watch for the Broncos to move up for a wide receiver. And I stuck my neck out there because I know Rappaport is obviously 100 times million better than I am, but I never really saw the logic and the reasoning behind why Denver would trade up for a receiver in a draft class that doesn't have a lot of star-studded receivers in it when they took 2 in the draft last year and Courtland Sutton comes off a contract year. So I'm joining Team Dianna Russini that I don't think Denver is going to be making a trade up. I think they are more likely than anything to stay put at number 20. Now, if a team wants to come up and get an offensive tackle like the Texans looking for Josh Simmons or something like that, then all right, I could see Denver moving back a few spots. But no, I don't think the Broncos are moving up. I think they are staying put at 20, and I think they're going to have enough patience for Omarion Hampton to fall to them. And that's my first draft target for Denver. And this is from the angle of what I think is going to happen mostly and a sprinkle of what I would like to see happen. Because at the end of the day, we're this close to the draft, you just want to know what's really going to happen, right? And I think Hampton is going to be the pick at 20 if he is there. The Bears at 10 have been looking very closely at Ashton Jeanty. If Jeanty goes to like the Raiders, does that mean Chicago pivots to Hampton potentially? Or if the Cowboys want to get, say, Matthew Golden, but he goes a few picks before because a team needs a receiver and doesn't want to wait for one in round 2, could the Cowboys then go with Hampton? Like, those are realistic possibilities. And at 20, you just can't say definitively who's going to be there one way or the other. So, if there, Omarion Hampton is the pick. Derek Harmon is the next guy I want to put on your radar. It is the Oregon defensive tackle. If Hampton is gone, I'm kind of going in like an order of plan A, then plan B, but plan B and plan D are not, 4 steps apart. They are just millimeters apart, really. Harmon comes off a very strong year with the Ducks. 5 sacks, 55 pressures. For reference, have you guys heard the name James Pierce yet in this pre-draft process? That's the Tennessee edge rusher. James Pierce had around 55 pressures. I think he had 59 last year for the Vols. So we're talking about a big fella who can get to the quarterback right up the gut. That is a defensive coordinator's wet dream. So, yeah, if Harmon is there and Hampton's not there and Denver wants to bring some youth into that trenches and take a little bit off of DJ Jones' plate as he gets up there in the age column, but still want him to be fresh on like first and second down when the opposing team is likely going to run the ball, Harmon's a great guy who can rotate in a little bit. All right, let's look at some of the other players to watch for at pick 20 if Denver stays put. The next name, we'll kind of bundle these two a little bit. Nicky Manwari and Kenneth Grant. I feel that Hampton and Harmon are like 1A, 1B, and then there's a little bit of a gap between those two guys and the next two. So Manwari and Kenneth Grant. Let's look at the South Carolina safety first. The reason why there's a gap here is it has nothing to do with Manwari's profile as a player. It's more about the need for Denver. After signing Talanoa Hufanga to a 3-year, $45 million contract, and after signing Brandon Jones last offseason in free agency, this does not scream safety in round 1. Doesn't mean they don't go safety at all in the draft, but not early in the draft. So that's why I'm a little bit more skeptical of Eamon Warrior or Malachi Starks for Denver in round 1 with the investment they already made with Hufanga and just safety not being one of the most important positions to, invest valuable assets into. The other guy is Kenneth Grant. If Denver doesn't want to go with more of a pass rushing guy, which I don't want to sell out Harmon just as a pure pass rusher. He really only had one true breakout year with that because before that in Michigan State, we didn't really see a ton of it. But back to Kenneth Grant. If they just want to go get a big fella, like 330-plus pounds big, that's just going to eat up blockers. That's going to allow Dre Greenlaw and Alex Singleton to make plays in the backfield, who's going to be the unsung hero, who's not going to fill up the stat sheet, but is going to make everyone else's jobs 2 times easier. If they want someone like that, Kenneth Grant from Michigan is the man for the job. And then I'll toss out one more Wolverine, and that is Colston Loveland. If you want Jim Harbaugh to have an aneurysm, have a team in the AFC West take Colston Loveland. Because Harbaugh may never emotionally recover from missing out on Loveland and then having to play against his former tight end who was instrumental in that 2023 national championship run for the Wolverines. He can spread the field. You can put him in the slot. He can work the seams. He's a great separator. There are people in this draft who like Loveland more than Tyler Warren, right? They look at Loveland as more of a complete receiver, whereas Warren is like a Swiss Army knife. You want him to throw, you want him to run, he'll do everything for you. Loveland's not going to be a great blocker. People are going to have major concerns over the shoulder injury. He had concussion issues as well in college. There are a lot of medical red flags with him. But if you put the medical stuff to the side and you just look at Loveland the player, I'm not going to say he's the next Travis Kelce. That's way too high of a bar. But when I watch Loveland, I get reminded of how Kelce and Mahomes have that great chemistry of just feeling out the defense, finding the soft spot, and the other guy knowing where the other guy wants him to be. I could see Knicks having that in Loveland. And I could see Peyton going, all right, Kansas City, as your quarterback and tight end duo start to disappear with Kelce's drop in production and his age skyrocketing, we'll get our own quarterback tight end duo, and we'll give you a taste of your own medicine. I feel that Loveland is probably a bit of a dream to be there at 20, but you never know. It is the NFL draft. Expect the unexpected. So there's 5 guys to watch for at 20. I'm Team Russini. I don't think Denver is going to trade up. Now, who do you want to pick at number 20? I'm going to Omarion Hampton. Let me know who you want in the comments section below. Would love to hear from all of Broncos country right now. Now, we've got more to get to on today's show, but really quickly, before we do go into those new latest final last-minute NFL draft rumors, quick shout-out to our friends over at Game Time. Game Time has so many awesome deals for Broncos country, and they make getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets if you want to go see the Avs play in the postseason or the Nuggets play in the postseason. Get with Game Time. Last-minute deals over there help you save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, just some general NFL rumors that I could see Denver getting involved in. Russini also mentioned this. Most of the teams picking in the top 10 outside of Tennessee have discussed trading out and are open to more discussions with teams as we get closer to Thursday night. So let's talk about the possibility, even though I don't think it's likely, the possibility of Denver moving up to get someone like Ashton Genty, because I don't want this to be, the PD Communist Party where I just force feed you whatever I want you to think. I want to look at different angles, different sides. And if you think I'm full of it and Denver does want to trade up, well, the good news for Denver is sounds like a lot of teams in the top 10 want to trade back. So it wouldn't be difficult to find a dance partner. And if Genty, I wouldn't even say starts to slip, but if Genty just doesn't, like let's say Denver says, all right, Genty's going to the Raiders at 6. And then the Raiders turn the pick in and they go with Armand Membu. And Denver's shocked, right? Sean and George Payton are beside themselves, going, whoa, we did not think Genty would go past 6. And then 7 rolls around and the Jets go with like Tyler Warren. What's going on here? Panthers, they drafted a running back last year. They extended Chuba Hubbard. They go with defense. They go Jalen Walker. And now Denver's sitting there going, wait a minute. We never really discussed having to trade up to the top 10-ish because we never thought it really had any possibility of being financially feasible. Or like, not financially, but like draft capital feasible. But if Genty goes past 6, past 7, past 8, past 9, and all of a sudden, the Saints are on the clock at 9. Sean and Mickey Loomis from New Orleans have a good relationship. The Saints have a lot of needs. I don't think the guy at 9 is going to solve all their problems. So I could see the Broncos making a trade up to the top 10 to get the no-doubter number 1 running back in this class. You guys want a fun fact about Ashton Genty? Ashton Genty, with 2,601 yards, led the country in rushing last year. Any guesses who came in at number 2? It is Ashton Genty after contact. Ashton Genty after contact had more yards than Omarion Hampton had. Don't overthink it. Don't try and be the smartest guy in the room. Don't try and play this game of, I wasn't playing all that good at competition. He sure was in the college football playoff and didn't really seem to bother him there. Don't try and outwit yourself and go, I actually like Hampton more for the schematical fit. Fuck your scheme. Genty is awesome. If he's there, go get him. But I don't think he'll likely be there. Now, if you want to ensure that he is there, this is probably what it would cost. If you want to be aggressive, this is full throttle. This is Jacksonville moving back, getting Denver's 2nd-round pick and their future first. My guess is this is something Denver would not do. I just don't think they'd value Genty at 3 picks. 2 picks possibly, right? Where if you could go from 20 to 9 and just give up either a future first or your 2nd this year, that could be good enough. But 3 picks for a running back, it doesn't matter how great that running back is. We have seen, like with Saquon Barkley, you can be incredible, but if the rest of the team stinks, you can only take him so far. So I'd be comfortable with giving up 2 picks total, 1 to use on him, and then 1 to move up to get him. 3 picks, it's just a little bit too rich for me. And I'm sure he is going to have a great career, and we might look back and go, they should have done that. But there's got to be a point where you draw a line in the sand thinking, as a running back, the influence has, a ceiling. And 3 players versus 1, I'm going to take the 3 players over 1 running back. If it's a quarterback, that's different. At the end, though, I got to trust Sean and George Payton. Sean Payton turned this roster around way quicker than any of us anticipated. George Payton has done a good job altogether if you just remove like 1 major blunder or 2 major blunders in Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett. But he drafted well with Pat Surtain and Quinn Miners. He found Jonathan Cooper in the 7th round. He's had a lot of success in the NFL draft. So they've got my trust. They've got my vote. But if you are, dead set on Genty, that's the price I'd estimate. A future first and this year's 2nd to go from 20 to 5. And to be honest, that might be on the low end. It might cost you a little bit more, but I think the Jags would be happy just to kind of get back and get some more picks because the guy, like, if they get Mason Graham at 5, for example, I don't think Mason Graham at 5 outweighs Walter Nolan at 20 and 2 more picks. So Jacksonville might feel like, hey, compared to, recent trades of similar distances moving up and down, this is on the low end. But if I'm Jacksonville, give me Walter Nolan, whoever you get in round 2, and Denver's 1st-round pick next year over just Mason Graham at 5, if that's the plan for them at 5. All right. I think that's everything we got store for today. So if you are ready for the Broncos draft, show me by clicking that thumbs up button. Click the like button down below. Let's get some good vibes, some good juju going into the 2025 NFL draft. Really appreciate everyone for hanging out with us all, pre-draft process long, and we're not going anywhere. So come back for the beginning of round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft.